Well, Jim, speaking of something that isn't a legal issue right now, but a lot of people have been up in arms about, I'm surprised how many emails we've received about it since we recorded the review yesterday, so I'm going to bring it up as a separate topic here. I'll read this one, sent to CornyDriveThru at gmail.com from James Floyd. Apparently, after MJF threw the liquid on the kid that was seen on TV, it was reported to be tequila. And when they went to check on the kid, apparently the kid and the mother were heavily upset, which caused them to get the kid merchandise.
I thought you were going to say the kid and the mother were heavily intoxicated.
Stop it. Caused them to get the kid merchandise from the stand. He got to go backstage and meet the wrestlers, and Tony Khan said he would get to go to the show on Wednesday. Yes, I get MJF as a heel.
What if he didn't want to come back on Wednesday? What? No, you have to come back. Is Tony forcing the kid to? Maybe he didn't like the show to begin with.
I get MJF.
What are they going to do with him this time? When he comes back this time, they're going to fucking strip him naked and hide his clothes? Are they going to fucking
this time someone will land on him.
Throw water balloons full of cow shit at him? Or?
I get MJF as a heel, and that's what he's supposed to do. But my question is, why would you do something like this in today's climate when people are very sue-happy? Clearly, it was an issue if Tony Khan made the people in the back run to get items from the merchandise stand. I know it's probably not a big thing in hindsight, but that mother could have sued AEW for assault, technically. I'm just curious your thoughts on the subject. And like I said, not an isolated email. We've received, over the last day and a half, a ton of inquiries about your thoughts on this.
Oh, yeah. Well, talking from someone who has experience in a variety of positions on being sued, the suer, the suey, the suey. And I've mentioned this before, anything that in most states now, I mean, there could be some, I think bestiality is only illegal in 47 states or whatever. But in most states, if something comes from your body to someone else's, whether you spit on them or snot on them, or dump a cup of water on them, or throw a baseball at them, or hit them with a ball bat, or whatever the fuck, it's assault. So by the very tightest description, I mean, you can sue for anything. And whether you'll collect or not, it's a different story. Even by the tightest description of the incident, you could technically call that potentially assault. But I think here's the best part about it is, and I can understand MJF seeing it happen in the moment and just making a snap decision. And the woman said something to him to attract his attention to her for a second, and he sees the drink and he sees the kid. But also, if you go back and notice, I thought it was a cup of water, or at least some kind of soft drink, because it was a clear plastic cup and it was almost empty. It looked like there was a little in the bottom, and he didn't grab it and throw it in the kid's face like, Joan Crawford having a goddamn meltdown in a fucking 40s B movie. He just kind of flipped it in the kid's lap and then went on. There was no not only force nor ill intent or whatever, is a taunting, condescending thing. And I think that's the snap decision that he made to do that when he saw it sit in front of him. So if there was a lawsuit filed claiming any kind of injury on this, then the video would disprove that quickly. Whether or not these people's embarrassment might be worth anything in a court of law, I think, to be honest, with something like this, it would probably be scoffed at by many judges and potentially thrown out, or maybe they say, hey, we'll go to arbitration over this because we got serious shit going on. It was good that, Tony and everybody else made over him and patted him on the back and everything. And I loved MJF at the scrum when they said, well, what do you think about throwing this drink on this? And the kid looked thirsty. That was fucking great. And he was completely, not sorry or apologetic.
Should he do it again? Should he do it again on Wednesday?
No, actually, what he ought to do now is have a fucking drink, and he's drinking or supposedly drinking himself and throw it in his opponent's face. Turn out to be fucking rubbing alcohol and the guy's blind or whatever. But anyway, but yeah, I mean, you wouldn't want to. It's a close line there. It was a thing that got a huge pop, and nobody was really injured. It's touchy with the age of the kid, but again, the kid didn't get hurt. And then again, what's this woman doing? Drinking tequila in front of her little toddler baby there. Setting a bad example. Out in public, being a drunken stumblebum.
Well, hold on now. No one said she was a drunken stumblebum.
Well, she was almost arrested for WRAF, walking recklessly and attempting to fall.
She's sitting ringside. She obviously spent a lot of money on those seats.
She was standing up. I saw her weaving back and forth. She was obviously 3 sheets to the wind, as Mama Cornette would say. And Child Protective Services ought to step in and see if that's a good home. She's out in public, under the influence of who knows, some kind of bathtub hooch, while her kid's there being molested by some wrestler.
Jesus Christ! What? This is like when you used to do commentary over matches and just say, "Oh, then he slipped on a banana peel, and then this happened, and this happened."
I'm just saying it was an entirely an unsavory, unfamily-like atmosphere. If I was the kid's father, I'd go to court and have that kid taken away from that woman.
I don't think you should be saying these things, and of course, I think you're joking, and of course, I don't know what else we're going to say about this.
Well, as long as you think that, we're all right.